right, he is finally here. It is the video review of FansProject's Function X-4 from their Function X line, Sigma L, aka not Mind Wipe here, and he is a bat, as you can see. And then he comes in the same really nice packaging that all the others have come in, and it's a really beautiful purple. Like, he gets purple, and Quadruple U got a teal. They look really nice together. The Autobots, Chrome Dome or Smart Robin and Code got like coppery brown and gray. So the Decepticons are definitely winning here in the package. Now Sigma L, everybody's wondering what his name code was made from. The first and then every third letter from Chrome Dome. Smart Robin was an anagram of Brainstorm. Quadruple U is obviously 4 U's versus a double U for WW for Weird Wolf. Now, the best argument I've seen for this, and I think it works, is that the L is a 90-degree angle. And if you take the the symbol for Sigma and turn it at a 90-degree angle this way, you get an M. Turn it at a 90-degree angle that way, you get a W for Mind Wipe. So that's a prevailing theory I've seen a couple places, and I think that is probably the most likely. It certainly works. So there. So yeah, the packaging itself, again, you slide it out, you got this really nice, rich purple, it's a really beautiful purple box, and then inside the plastic clamshell, in which you can see his wings are kind of folded to the side. He's packed very tightly in here. And then the instruction booklet in here, which goes through the transformation steps. There's no teaser picture for the next one like there was on some of the previous figures. So it's just an instruction manual. There's no comic or anything, which there haven't been comics with the rest of them, but it would have been nice to see a little teaser of the next figure, which I think is, I thought was going to be highbrow, but it looks like their Skull Cruncher may be closer to being done, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, here's Mind Wipe, or Sigma L himself. He stands in bat mode when you're not being crazy with him. He is kind of balanced. If you move the wings too far forward, he will fall forward, but he does have bat feet he can stand on. You can actually position his head to be in a flying pose and fold the feet back and have him fly like a bat. Came on tab there. So yeah. Very cool. Like, he's got this red head that it's the only place you see this red on him. And it does kind of match the red of the original G1 Vorath on his arms and legs, but that was the only place he had red on the original. Granted, on the original figure, he was more of a kind of reddish brown and black versus the purple here. And he had some purple as well. But yeah, the red head is... It's kind of the way I feel about the one on Function, or on Virus. It's the only red on the figure, and it doesn't match anything else. It looks good, especially in robot mode. That provides some nice contrast, and I'm guessing that's why they did it. But he does have red head. His mouth opens here. And again, you've got the articulation here in the knees for the bat. There's a hinge here that has a little bit of motion in it, but not much. And then the ankle right here on the bat. Part of that's for transformation. The guns that mount on his back are also hinged, so you can angle them up and down. They can also be mounted under the wing in spots right here. And his head moves up and down here on the hinge. And, yeah, he's got the little hypnotism speakers built in. But, he's a big, solid, chunky bat. The wings actually have articulation here. They hinge right up here, which is nice. They hinge right here. And then there's individual hinges here and here in the wing itself. So you can actually you can't quite get a full wrap because this hinge right here, the way this post is, it only comes up about here. But you can kind of wrap his wings around himself a little bit if you want. Like I said, you can't quite get a full wrap up, but if you want to hang him, you can kind of get a hangy pose out of him. And somebody actually took him and used these, found a way to hook these over the edge of like a squarish desk. I do it here, but my desk is not, the corners of the desk here are rounded, so he doesn't get a good grip, and had him hanging by his legs, which is kind of cool. So you can actually do that if you have the right setup. But yeah, there he is in a bat, and he's got a very impressive wingspan. Like, his wingspan from tip to tip is, if you have any of Mastermind's Hearts of Steel Seekers, it's a little bit wider from tip to tip than theirs, and it's just a little bit It's not quite as wide from tip to tip as Hypernova is fully extended. He's about, it's maybe about a quarter to a third of an inch longer than a Hearts of Steel Seeker from Mastermind, one of their Night Morpher guys. And it's probably about a quarter, or probably about a third to a little over a third of an inch shorter than Hypernova. So he sits right in the middle wingspan wise. It's a very impressive wingspan. It's not huge. It's not it's not a 4-foot wingspan or anything like that. It's smaller than Talons from Mastermind, but it's still for a figure like this to become packaged in the same size box as all the other ones. It's a pretty impressive wingspan. To get a size comparison, here he is with Quadruple U, as fellow evil headmaster guy. And you can see even you put the tip of Quadruple U's tail, he's still several inches. He still only comes about to the end of the body on one side. There. With Code, and then with Smart Robin, just to show you how he fits in with all these guys. So like he's much bulkier in or at least larger alt mode here. And to transform him, we'll show off some bits. Pull the guns off his back, just like that. Pick it up off the floor. Now, somebody said these look like power washers, and they kind of do before they were painted. They've got some silver paint on them now that makes them look more like shotguns. But they did I could kind of see how they look like power washers if they were all one solid piece. So you take those off, and on the back you'll notice there's some translucent green plastic here to form a cross, because it's a really neat coffin shape. He's kind of a vampire, Dracula-esque bat, that type of character mentality. So the fact that they've got this really neat-looking coffin on the back for the pilot to sit in is kind of cool. And this just opens up. You kind of got to pull them apart here. There you go. The hinge panels. So they're on double hinges here, so you got to make sure you pull up on the right hinge. And then their little Solaron. I don't think these guys have individual names that we've seen in the fiction, but little Vorath analog here. He's got some little fins on his arm, which form the horns for thing. This arm on mine's a little loose. It will hold a position up, but it moves a lot more loosely than this one. This one feels nice and solid. This one is really loose. And I've had that problem with a couple of recent FansProject figures. Columpio had some really loose joints. And it's just, like I said, that I haven't had with any of the other headmasters in the Function X line, so who knows. But and it's a minor issue. Like I said, he'll still hold the arm in a position anywhere I stick it, and I can shake it. But the feel, since it's so much looser than this one, just feels a little off. But he's a nicely detailed little guy. Kind of see if we can get in on his face here. Yeah, look at his little face. Whee! He's kind of got the like bat-esque symbol. Honestly, the symbol kind of looks like Battle Damage Skeletor from when I was a kid, if you ever had that one. Yeah. And so anyway, we'll continue on with Vorath himself, or Mindwipe himself, Sigma L. I'm going to get all these names mixed up. So yeah, bring the wings up. Now you actually unpeg these main body parts from the upper body parts, because these are going to form the legs. So you kind of bring them out like this, and then rotate them down here at the hip. Bring the leg all the way down, just like that. Rotate the whole waist piece around. This is going to be the front of him. And I love the bright green detailing in here. It's really neat. Let me see if we can get a little better focus on there. So yeah, so you bring this down, you straighten out the bat feet, and then fold the little paw up. Should be straight. And this whole piece folds in to the leg here like this. And then you close this up, bring this foot down, and then close the whole thing up. You see this little tab right here that tabbed into the body up here is going to tab in under here on the side of the plastic. Again, here's where that double hinge comes in. You want to make sure you fold it like that, and then fold it in to make the leg proper. And you rotate that so it's on the front. And then same over here. Oh, come on, snap together. Oh, that's because those legs. There we go. Rotate that around. And there his legs are done. He's got the foot's on a ball joint. You can kind of see it up in there, which makes it really nice for posing. It's got a lot of good movement in it, both tilting and it doesn't tilt forward so much because of the way the leg is built, but you've got a good ankle tilt there. So that's done. Take the bat head here, fold it down. He does have, like I said, I don't know if I showed his opening jaw. He's got an opening jaw with a little laser ray or something in there. Close his jaw up, fold the ears down over the face, lift it up, and fold the whole thing down onto the body like that. It doesn't really lock in place, but it folds down securely enough. Then up here, you unpeg the hands from the upper body. Bring them down. Okay, we're still recording. I thought I just had a tweet come in, and I thought it had paused the recording, and I was going to freak out. All right, so bring the arms down, and like that. Rotate them around. And again, you can have the arms like this. You can rotate the arms at the bicep. There is a wrist swivel, so you can have those arms facing the other way. But if you want a forward bend of the elbow, rotate them around like this, so the fins are on the back. And he's got some really nice looking claw hands here, which are really nice, nicely picked out in silver on the purple. They look really nice. And then the wings are on little rotating hinges here. But for the most part, the body's done now. He does have you can see that here's the seat where the Vorath analog sat in bat mode. Oh, bumped my camera there. So we'll stand him up, get him going. There we go, brighten it up a little bit. All right, and then you can hold the shotguns. Again, they can store here on the bat wing. I don't know why you'd want to do that in robot mode, but you can. They actually do store on the legs where they did in bat mode, although again, why you'd want to do that in robot mode, I don't know, but it's up to you. You just plug these in to his hands, and he holds them freely. You can hold any of the other weapons as well. And then you take Vorath, and you fold them up like this. Nothing super new here. Fold this down, flip his little visor down, over his eyes. You've got a cool looking head there. And you just plug it in up here. Now you see he's got this big collar here. But despite that, they do still have the rotational gimmick. So you can still rotate his head from side to side, have him look around. It does not have the tilt the head forward feature that some of the other ones did. It's just a solid plug that allows the head to rotate. Still nice, still functional, still works. But it just, like I said, just doesn't have that one tilt forward gimmick. But yeah, so there he is with a full wingspan in robot mode, and he looks really nice. I'm really, really happy with this guy. I love the purple and green color scheme. Just really, really neat. And again, the wings retain all the posability. You can move them back and forth. You can swing them under, although I don't know why. Like, he actually comes packaged something like this in the box with his wings all tucked up around there. But you can fold the wings around. You can bring them forward if you want. I think I like to fold them back around behind his body, and you can actually fold them almost all the way in as a backpack. But that's entirely up to you how you want to do it. That's generally how I display him in bot mode, with the wings kind of folded up on his back. And again, that's great if you don't have enough room to put something like that on your shelf with that wide old wingspan. You can fold them up. But you can position them wherever you want. If you want to have them more like that, whatever you want. I'm going to leave the wings out just for the sake of the impression they give here and the stature they give him in robot mode, which is very cool. Now, posability-wise, he's actually pretty mobile. Again, you've got the tilting head, the shoulders. You got a lot of movement in the shoulders. They're a little bit limited, like some of the others, just based on their see, that looks like the shoulder joint should come down more than that. But I don't want to force it and break it. But it looks like it should come down a little bit more than that. But you do have a good range of movement in the shoulders. Again, it's not quite as great. It's not super awesome shoulder movement, but it's better than some of the previous figures in the line. He's got a bicep swivel, dual hinged elbows, a wrist swivel, a waist swivel. No ab crunch just because of how he transforms. You've got all the articulation in the wings. Waist swivel, universal hips, thigh swivel. He's got nice knee joints And then you've got that ball joint here in the foot that, while not super mobile, especially in the forward dimension, it does have a good, you can get a lot of decent poses. Like, it's going to be pretty stable no matter how you stick it in robot mode. He's capable of supporting the figure anyway, and they're good strong ankles. Like there's a little bit of movement, and they're very solid. Like even if you put them in like a weird position, they're going to hold pretty well. At least on the weight of the robot itself. If you try to add more weight to it, it might have some issues, but for the most part, it's going to stay. Just some real quick size comparisons now before we go. Here he is with quadruple U, code, and Smart Robin. Here, let's see if I can get them all in here. Now, he does seem a lot bigger, and part of that is the wings. The wings do add a lot of bulk, and like if you fold them back, he doesn't look quite as large. But you can see, like, Smart Robin was previously the tallest, just barely, of the three, and Sigma L does tower over, not really tower over him a little bit, but he is probably a good half-inch taller than them. He's not so tall to be out of scale with the line, and I kind of like the fact that he's like much more bigger and more imposing than the others. But he fits right in, and it looks really cool. So yeah, a very welcome addition. I got it from TF Source, and again, as always, there'll be a link down there in the video description. But he's out, he's cool. I'm looking forward to the Skull Cruncher they've got coming, as well as the Hard Head and Mind Wipe that they've shown off, or not Mind, Highbrow and Hard Head that they've got coming. A lot of neat stuff coming from this line. Another great figure from FansProject. I'm really happy with it. Aside from a couple of minor QC issues like that loose arm, but very cool. There is the FansProject Function X-4 Sigma L.